Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy DeYoung with Prophecy Today video. On Prophecy Today weekend from here in Jerusalem, a touch of the future, since we'll rule and reign with Jesus Christ during the 1,000-year kingdom period that will be in the future. More on that in just a moment. Also, we had our broadcast partners with reports from the Middle East, from England, Washington, D.C., and Virginia. Ken Timmerman reported on geopolitical activities for us. Ken talked about Iran sanctions have failed, according to a recent report put out by the United States government. And we also talked about long-range drones that could carry a bomb. Iran says they have put a number of drones into Israeli airspace. That report coming out of Washington with Ken Timmerman. David Dolan gave us our Middle East news update, and we talked about a major United States-Israeli missile defense drill taking place here in Israel. It begins next week, but this is a major show to the entire world how the United States and Israel are standing together. Dr. Elwood McQuaid, he is the editor of Israel My Glory, a fantastic magazine that is published by Friends of Israel. And Dr. McQuaid talked about the idea that there is a call for holy war here in the Middle East. He has an article in the Jerusalem Post entitled, "Will Somebody Say Holy War?" That is a very important conversation that you ought to re-listen to, but that's what we had to say when we were talking with Elwood, some very important details that need to be discussed, and you need to listen to them. Dr. Rob Congdon gave us a European Union update, and he said that the European Union is concerned about Iran, but secondly, they're concerned about the United States presidential elections. So he gave us that information, helping us to understand how everything in that part of the world where he was, the British Isles this week, is going on, and how we need to be aware of what their thinking is when we understand current events that are happening in our world. Well, it's a joy always to travel in this area of the world, the Middle East, the Bible lands. It'll help you to understand the Bible much, much better. It makes the Bible become not only a black and white book, but a technicolor book, and it gives you the smells, the sounds, the sights that you'll remember forever. I want to focus on this time here on Prophecy Today as we take a look at the book on Jerusalem itself. I'm here. I'm overlooking the Temple Mount from where I am seated in my hotel room doing this broadcast. Also, I can see the Mount of Olives. That's where Jesus Christ ascended into the heavenlies, and he is coming back to that same location. I was walking there this afternoon. We're doing a production of a new documentary on the revived Roman Empire, and also on Revelation chapter 17 and how religion plays into the revival of the old Roman Empire. But it was from this location where the Roman soldiers destroyed the temple just exactly like Jesus said they would. Well, let's think about Jerusalem just for a few moments, the past, the present, and the prophetic. When you think about the past, you have to go back to 2 Samuel chapter 5. 2 Samuel 5 is a record of King David becoming king of all 12 tribes of Israel. The first 7 years of his kingship was in Hebron, and he only was the king of his tribe of Judah. But when the other 11 tribal leaders asked him to take charge of all of the 12 tribes and become king of Israel, he had to have a neutral place, so he selected a Jebusite stronghold between the land of Benjamin, that particular Jewish tribe, and the Jewish tribe that David came from, the land of Judah. This Jebusite stronghold was Jerusalem, and Jerusalem was selected by King David to be the political capital of the Jewish people. Now, that was 3,000 years ago. After he made it the political capital, he wanted to make it the spiritual capital as well. That's found in 2 Samuel chapter 6. And King David went and brought the Ark of the Covenant up to the city of David. There he built a tabernacle, a temporary worship center, put the Ark of the Covenant there, until his son, King Solomon, would build the temple on Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount, and take the Ark of the Covenant and put it in the Holy of Holies. This is going to be the Jewish capital spiritually and politically forever. That's the Davidic covenant found in 2 Samuel chapter 7. And though God did not allow King David To build the temple, he allowed his son to receive the first installment of the Davidic covenant. He did promise King David and his descendants that one of them, of course that's Jesus Christ, would build a temple in Jerusalem and rule and reign from that temple. Now that's the past. What about the present? Here in Jerusalem, there's about 700,000 Jews living here, and they're from all around the world. I said just a moment ago, 3,000 years ago, King David made it the political capital of the Jewish people, and for sure it is the capital of the state of Israel. When you think about the city of David, which is Jerusalem, that's what Jesus called it. That's what also King David called it. But it's either Jerusalem, Zion, or the city of David. Those terms are synonymous. But when you think about the city, there are Arabs, Christians, secular Jews, Orthodox Jews, all living here and all from different parts of the entire world. This is a world-class city, and it's a city that has world-class museums. For example, the Shrine of the Book, where they have the remains, the scrolls that were found down at the Dead Sea. Very, very interesting place to be. Well, the old city has the Temple Mount where Jesus Christ will rule and reign from. It's the most sacred piece of real estate in all of the Jewish world. But prophetically, Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 2 says it will be a city of controversy. Remember, I said the Davidic covenant says it will be the location where Jesus, as King of the Jews, will build a temple and rule and reign from that temple among the Jewish people forever. But first, Zechariah 12:2 says it will be a city of controversy. Jesus Christ will return. He will build that temple. But first, Zechariah 12:2 says it will be a city of controversy. The Lord will dwell among his people from Jerusalem, Psalm 132, verses 13 and 14. But remember, first, Zechariah 12:2, Jerusalem will be a city of controversy. It has been, it is today, and it will be in the future until Jesus Christ comes back. That's the city of Jerusalem, some of the past, the present, and the prophetic that will take place, or has taken place, or is taking place today. But remember, before all of the prophecies pertaining to the city of Jerusalem for the future are fulfilled, the rapture of the church takes place. And you know, everything we've said on the broadcast today indicates that that rapture can happen at any moment. And having said that, nothing left for me to say, except let's keep looking up until